Hector, with training camp kicking off tomorrow, there are plenty of great storylines as the Dallas Cowboys enter the 2018 season, but arguably the biggest is head coach Jason Garrett's hot seat. The 52-year-old enters his 8th season with the Cowboys, and in his 7 years as a head coach has only made 2 playoff appearances. However, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones says Garrett is the best to lead this team.
It's been a few years since we've asked you the proverbial hot seat question, and maybe you kind of already answered it, but is this a playoffs or bust year for Jason?
No. That's the best answer I can give and the fairest one.
You know, one of the things we try to do with our team and the culture we've tried to build is we got to be honest in evaluating ourselves. And, you know, we do that with our players. After every game, we go through it. We tell them what we think is good, what's not quite so good. And we have to do the same thing with us as coaches. So I would think that every aspect of what my responsibilities are as a head coach, hopefully I've gotten better at those things.
Everybody wants to step in like we did when we first got here and win 3 out of 4 in 7 years. Everybody wants to do that. That's not the NFL that I see. We see as better than anybody in the world, Jason. Better than anybody. And consequently, I'm excited about him being our head coach.
Jerry Jones very much in his element here in Oxnard for training camp. Now let's continue our team coverage and send it over to our Brooke Shoemaker for more.
Thanks, Jill. Yeah, Jason Garrett, a big story this week, but another hot topic is defensive end Randy Gregory, who returns to the roster after a year-long suspension. After support from teammates like Sean Lee, Jeff Heath, and Tyrone Crawford, he'll now have a future in a Cowboys uniform.
It wasn't even a given early that he would be out here right off the bat participating in the drills and going through this test. However, he accomplished everything he needed to do to satisfy the league that he could be right out here from day one and really giving himself every chance to be a part of this team.
We're going to work him back in. You know, he hasn't been part of our team in over a year. He hasn't been around NFL players in a long time. So he looks in good shape. His weight's good. Spirits are really good. We're excited to have him here, but you know he's going to work with our strength coaches and with our trainers to make sure we get a good base and a good foundation underneath him before he starts practicing.
Make no mistake about it, he's a player we want. He's a person we want. One thing that is impressive about Randy Gregory is the support of the team. And by the way, that was manifest itself when the commissioner asked to review him. Then they got a lot of input from his teammates about how they felt about him joining them and his future with the Dallas Cowboys.
He's a young player. He's a very instinctive player. He's got a really good feel for the game. That's one of the reasons we like him. He's an outstanding athlete. So we don't think it's going to take long, but we have to check ourselves as coaches. You get excited about getting a guy like this back. You don't want to get ahead of yourselves. So we're going to be very deliberate and very thoughtful with how we go through this process. And it's just taking it step by step by step before you put him in a competitive situation.
Although not a lot expected from Gregory at camp, they're definitely happy to have him back as part of the team. For more of our Camping in Cali coverage, here's Marcus Floyd.
After having quite a few problems over the last couple of off seasons, Ezekiel Elliott had a very quiet offseason this year, and the Cowboys are hoping that translates into better numbers and a more effective performance on the field this year.
You know, you got to hope a guy like Zeke, and I do think Zeke wants to, you know, be great, not just for a year, not in the short term. I think he wants to be one of the great ones to play the game, and I think he's a hard-working guy who knows what it takes.
Thought he got better and better physically as he was in the off-season program on a consistent basis. Serious-minded, focused, really grasped the leadership mantle in that running back room. I thought he practiced really well, setting the example for the rest of the group. Didn't say a whole lot. Wasn't like all of a sudden, I'm Joe Leader, I'm one of these guys. It wasn't that at all. It was just doing things the right way. Everybody sees it, and really set a great example for the standards that we want to establish for our team.
The Cowboys brass also mentioned that the whole offense needed to stay healthy to be productive this year. And for more Camping in Cali coverage, stay right here because we have more coming with the conversation a little bit later on in the show. For Sports2Nite, I'm Marcus Floyd.
You're watching Sports2Nite, San Antonio's only nightly 30-minute sportscast with exclusive sports coverage you won't find anywhere else.